It's almost the end of the year. Do you have your financial ducks in a row? By that I mean, do you have your bookkeeping up to date? Do you have your major purchases purchased now rather than waiting till after your year end? It's really important to to keep an eye on your numbers throughout the year. And the only way you can do that is if you've done your bookkeeping. If you have any major purchases coming up, think about doing those purchases before your year end rather than after. And by major, I mean like a new computer or something like that, something that's over $500 roughly. In Canada, the depreciation rate, it doesn't matter when you purchase it during the year. But if you're deciding between December and January, why not get the deduction in this year rather than waiting another whole year to get the benefit of that purchase? The biggest mistakes solopreneurs make when it comes to their year-end finances is always related to bookkeeping. They try to do it themselves and they hate doing it. And as a result, it doesn't get done until it's really close to the deadline. Or they have a bookkeeper and they decide that, oh, there's not really very much, so I can wait till, 2 days before the deadline to give their bookkeeper all their stuff. And the other thing is collecting monies owed, accounts receivable. Sometimes we forget. If somebody doesn't pay us promptly, we forget about them. Or they've said, oh, I'll pay you in 2 months. Sure, no problem. And then we forget about it. It's really nice to have all of your income in and accounted for before the year end. Same is true with accounts payable. If you owe people money, it's best to pay it before your year end, just to keep your balance sheet nice and clean. If you want to make the year end process less overwhelming, think about the who, not how thing that I've talked about before. Is bookkeeping your thing, or are you better at doing something else where the value of your time is much, much higher? If you want to stay organized throughout the year, the most common software in North America is QuickBooks. And if you have QuickBooks online, the nice aspect of that is you can take a picture with your phone and immediately upload it into QuickBooks, which makes your bookkeeping much, much easier. And then your bookkeeper just has to go through and reconcile everything. You can also put your invoices through QuickBooks. I do not, but I do put my invoices in to QuickBooks so that I can track who has paid me more easily. I also like it so that I can see how I'm doing throughout the year. I can see what income has come in, what expenses go out. I can look at the cash flow. I can look at the balance sheet and see how things are improving throughout the year. And just keep an eye on things. And then when the year end comes, there's very little left to do. Certainly not stressful. And that's a common misconception that solopreneurs have about their year ends, that it's going to be hard, it's going to take a lot of time. Oh, I'm no good with numbers. Oh, you're probably just fine with numbers. You're probably great with numbers. It's just the overwhelm of having left it too long that's the problem. And if you do it throughout the year, it just takes so much pressure off. And as soon as I hired a bookkeeper myself, oh, life was so much better. One less thing to worry about. Yes, I had to pay her to do it, but it was worth every penny. Keeps the tax man off your back. You get your taxes filed on time. You know where your money's coming from, where it's going. You can break it out into different categories. It's set up the way you want it to be set up. It can be set up the way the taxman wants it, but it's for your information that you're doing all this bookkeeping, not just the taxman. And it tells you where you're spending, how much are you spending on your salaries for your employees, how much are you spending on supplies, on travel, on meals. Are those reasonable expenses for the nature of your business? It's full of really good information. It's worth doing. As a business success coach, this is one of the things I do with my clients, is make sure that they have all their financial ducks in a row, that they know where their money is going, they know where it's coming from, that they're caught up in all their accounts receivable, their accounts payable, that they have the tax man organized, that there's nothing left to worry about. If there's anything I can do to help you, book a call.